Erev Tov Batay. It says in the Talmud, Shulchan Aruch, that a person, when he prays Amida, you should have a makom kavua, a fixed place, that he prays there every time. Sorry? Unique place. You get the point? So he sits over there, I sit over there, you sit over here. That's your place. Everybody has his own place. Boris is over there, the rabbi over here. One place. Not one time here and then one time over there, one time over there. Where are you going? Musical chairs? What are you doing? This is not good. I'm sorry?
Everybody got their own special.
Exactly, yeah, that's the way it should be, Have your own place. So don't change it, each time. Sometimes here, sometimes there, sometimes. No good. There's also another halakha, something else. It says in Siman Kuf Bet in Shulchan Aruch that you're not allowed to pass by somebody, who's praying Amida. We already talked about this, right? You cannot pass in front of him when he's doing Amida. Within 4 amot. If it's more than 4 amot, it's okay. Also, to pass in back of him is okay, or on the side is okay, but not in the front. Why? Because you're disrupting him. You're bothering his concentration. His kavanah. This is the reason why you can't do that, right? So now here's the thing, right? We have 2 Shulchan Aruch, right?
You and the rabbi?
Doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter. It's all the same, right? Even a woman, who's praying, right? You're not allowed to go in front of her. Doesn't matter who it is. So anyway, right? Now we have these 2 halachot, as we said. But here's the thing. Sometimes, one contradicts the other, right? So what does that mean? If you came in late, right, and they're already doing Amida, the question is now, are you allowed to go to your makom kavua, right? Even though you have to pass by somebody, to go to your, or should you stay in the back and pray in the back? Which one? Which one takes precedence, right? One over the other, right? So that's the question. So the truth is, that there are some who say, pray over there in the back, There are some people like this, don't pass in front of people. But the truth is that there is a rule in the Talmud, So I'll teach you a nice rule in the Talmud. Yavo mitzvot aseh ve'doche lo taseh. You know what this means? The positive commandment comes and is doche, pushes out the negative commandment. This is the rule in the Talmud, Mitzvot aseh pushes out lo taseh. Right? So here, this is what we have, what I'm saying? There's mitzvot aseh to be in one place. This is mitzvot aseh, to go in your place. Lo ta'aseh, don't pass in front of somebody, So therefore here also, the rule is that mitzvot aseh, of going to your place, pushes out the mitzvah of not passing in front of somebody. So therefore, lichora, you should be able to do it. Now the truth is, that both of these halachot that we just mentioned, right, are they from the Torah or are they from the rabbis?
Sure, it's supposed to...
From the Torah. Number 1, to have one place. Number 2, to not pass in front of somebody. Are they from the Torah or are they from the rabbis? They're both from the rabbis. The Rabbanan. Right? But still we have the same rule, If they're both the Rabbanan, if they're both from the rabbis, still, the positive commandment comes and pushes out the negative commandment. But if it was, right, so here's the thing, right? Yeah, if it was from the Torah, the negative, the positive commandment of the rabbis would not push it out. Because the Torah is stronger than the rabbis, Zdarovni. Right? Yoter Zdarovni, some more Zdarovni than the rule of the rabbis. But here they're both the Rabbanan. Understand? They're both the Rabbanan. So one comes and pushes out the other. So lichora, it should be okay, to go in front, pass and go to your place, because you want to go to your place. But stam, to pass in front of him for no reason, this you're not allowed to do, right? No, asur. Not allowed to do that. Comes the Yalkut Yosef, it says something interesting, right? What does he say? He says, that you shouldn't do this though, what I just told you, right? To pass in front of people to go to your place. He says, don't do it.
He's supposed to pray down there or what?
Okay, yeah. So, question is why, right? Why is he saying this? So he says, why? Because going to your place is not so important, it's not so crucial. You understand what I'm saying? That's what he says. Why not crucial? Because even if you pray over there in the back, you fulfilled your obligation, right? You fulfilled. It's not like, you didn't fulfill your obligation. So he says, therefore, better, don't walk in front of people. Stay where you are and pray over there. This is what it says in Yalkut Yosef.
I have a question.
You know Yalkut Yosef, right? There's the chief rabbi, Rabbi Tzchak Yosef.
You just said
Shlita.
if Torah allows mitzvah aseh,
Yeah.
then mitzvah ta'aseh can be pushed.
Right.
Now question. In Parashat Bereshit, when Hashem created Adam Rishon, he put him in a garden of Eden.
Yeah.
And then he said, eat from this tree, but don't eat from the other tree.
Right.
So is he allowed to? He was allowed to eat from the tree or not?
Right. So there he had, but the thing is, he had no mitzvah aseh over there. Something, some mitzvah to eat that tree. So there was no mitzvah aseh. Doesn't really apply, right? That
Hashem
this rule.
first said you can allow it.
Huh?
You can allow you to eat from the other trees.
Yeah, the other trees. Yeah,
You
okay.
eat whatever you want.
Yeah,
Just
sure.
don't eat
Just
this
don't
one.
eat this one. So you coming to eat this one, you don't have mitzvah aseh, to eat this one. You have no mitzvah. So therefore it's not allowed, right? Okay. Anyway, right, that doesn't work like that, right? So anyway, as we said, that says Yalkut Yosef, don't do it. But truth is, after looking at this, actually, for a few years I was thinking about this, but I think that his words are not so correct. And I'll tell you why. Even though it's true that, yeah, you can pray over there and fulfill your obligation, but there is a mitzvah to come over here. You know what I mean? There's a mitzvah. Okay, so you still have a mitzvah anyway, to come here. So therefore, there's a rule, but also I'll tell you something interesting, right? Similar to what he's saying, there's a rule like this, that when we say mitzvah aseh comes and pushes out lo taseh, this only applies, when there's no other way to do the mitzvah. If there's no other way, then it pushes out. But if you can do it without that, then it doesn't push. That's what he's trying to say over here. Yalkut Yosef, you know what I mean? You can do it also over there. Yeah, but you can do it there. The prayer is okay over there, but there's a mitzvah to be over here. There's no other way to do. There's a mitzvah to be here. You understand? So therefore, yes, the prayer, there is a way to pray over there. It's true, but mitzvah to be here. So therefore, I think that the more correct approach is, that mitzvah aseh pushes out lo taseh, even in this case, So you can go to your place. So therefore, that's my humble opinion, that a person is allowed to go to his place. But otherwise, right, besides that, I'll tell you a story, right? I don't know if I told you the story before, right? But they say that one time, there was, in America, right? There's there's an organization, Jewish organization called Agudat Israel. Agudat Israel.
Yeah.
So this is Ashkenazi, Jews, Rabbanim, they have called this organization. So Agudat Israel, every year, once a year, they have like a meeting, Vad, they get together, and they do some divrei Torah over there, and share ideas and all kinds of, new things. They say, one rabbi says to the others, they get together, they have a Vad, they have, the meeting. Right? They have you understand? So they get together once a year. So what happened was, Rav Moshe Feinstein, when he was alive, right, obviously they used to invite him, to this meeting, He was the biggest rabbi in America, right? Number one. Rabbi number one, right? Numero uno. So, I'm sorry?
1980.
Yeah, something like that. He passed away around that time. So, what do you call it? So he used to come, So they say, right, that one time, he was there, and they did Arvit, after they finished the Vad. They did Tfilat Arvit, So one guy over there, prays long, Arichut Yamim, right? Much more than me, right? You think I'm long? This guy, right, is really long, right? Half hour, 40 minutes, I don't know, whatever it was. Amida, there are some people who do like this, They do Amida half hour. Chatzi shah, What is the limit, by the way? How long can you make the Amida? The longest?
1 minute.
So truth is, that the Gaon of Vilna, he writes, that don't do Amida more than like an hour. That's like too much already. But if you want to do half hour, you really could. There's no prohibition. We recommend, by the way, we recommend to people not to do so long. We recommend to them, be regular like everybody else. 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Don't do a half hour. Because you're bothering people. They have to watch out for you. You know what I mean? You're always making problems, you know. And then I remember, you know, there was you remember this shul over here before they had Rachaminov, right? The shul, the Rachaminov shul. Right? They had before that, right? Rabbi Eichenstein. You remember this shul, right? This Hasidic shul they had, right? Eichenstein. You remember this guy? Right? So he was, you know, Hasidish, right? So I remember, you know, he had a shul there, you know, and I used to go there because it's right behind my house. I used to go public. So what happened was that there was one guy over there, you know, praying long, you know. So Eichenstein, you know, he wanted to lock, you know, and this guy is making him wait, you know. So he's sitting there, Eichenstein, you know, like waiting for him, you know. Look, no, come on, finish already, you know. In the end, he would lose his patience, you know, and tell him, no, come on, no, you know, Ashkenazi style, no, you know, like this, you know, he would tell him. So that's why, you know, we recommend to people, you know, to pray normal, not too much, you know. Try not to do more than 10 minutes, you know, 10 minutes maximum. You know, but it's not asur. You can do more if you want. Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah.
Rabbi, what they're reading the half an hour.
What are they reading? Yes, good question. What are they reading half hour? What are they reading?
Yeah.
I remember there was one guy, you know, who used to say like a joke, you know, when he used to see somebody praying long, he would tell him, what are you doing? Amida of Yom Kippur? Or would tell him, what are you, Yom Kippur you're doing today? Sound like this. Yeah, he would make a joke. You know, so he would make fun of him, you know, mock him a little bit. So truth is, you know, that as we say, right, that we recommend to people, you know, so you know what the answer to your question is? The answer is that, you know, people like to learn to go slow, you know, slow. Every word, you know, think about it, you know, kavanah. They go slow.
Why everybody gotta wait for him? That's the question.
That's the question. They don't have to wait for him, by the way. They don't have to wait for him. Only if he's a rabbi, you know. But if he's just a regular guy, they don't have to wait for him. Who told you? You know, they don't have to wait for everybody. No, not such a thing like that. So anyway, right, Rav Moshe Feinstein was there at the Aguda convention, you know what I mean? Convention. So they say, you know, that there was one guy there who was doing Amida, as I told you, right, half hour, 40 minutes, you know. So Rav Moshe Feinstein didn't want to go in front of him, you know, to go out the door. He didn't want to pass by him. You know? So what did he do? You know what he did? He sat there, you know, in the chair, waited for him to finish, you know, half hour, 40 minutes. Waited. Tzaddik, you know? Doesn't want to pass in front. I mean, but that's when you're going in, you know, so when you're going out, you know, so when you're going out, there's no mitzvah there, you know, to go somewhere, you know, to do something. There's no mitzvah, you know, so he was not allowed to pass by him. It's true, you know. But if you have, as you said, right, a mitzvah to go to a certain place, you know, your place, that's something else. We're not talking about that. Same thing, by the way, I'll finish here. I don't want to keep you too long. Same thing also applies where you have a person, right? I think we mentioned this before. Let's say, you know, you have Kohanim, right? Making the Birkat Kohanim. So they need to, you know, go wash their hands, right? In the back. So, the Tilat Yadayim. So you know what it is, right? Sometimes people are praying, you know, Amida. So he has to pass by them, you know, to go to wash his hands.
Yes.
So is he allowed to do this, you know, to pass by them, to wash his hands for the bracha, or to go up to the Duchan, right, and do the Birkat Kohanim? So the answer is yes, also here also, same thing, right? Comes mitzvat aseh, right, positive commandment, which is to do Birkat Kohanim, and pushes out the lo ta'aseh, right, the negative to pass by mitpalel. Same thing over here, you know, as well. Same thing, doesn't matter, right? And also, right, as you know, Birkat Kohanim is from the Torah. It's even stronger, you know. It's from the Torah, Birkat Kohanim. Yeah, Birkat Kohanim is from the Torah, but what about washing your hands? Is that from the Torah? No, it's only from the rabbis. He's right. Right? So can you go wash your hands? So there are some, you know, Yalkut Yosef also he says also, you know, if you there's no other way for you to wash your hands. So he says, you know what, just take off your shoes and go do it without washing hands. Don't go in front of people to wash your hands.
It's allowed?
You know, that's what he says.
It's allowed?
He's allowed. Why? Because he washed his hands in the morning, you know. So he could rely on that, you know, they let them in the morning. You know? So he says, right, if you have no other way to wash your hands except if you pass by people, so he says, don't wash your hands, just go and, you know. I tell you, same thing, right? Again, right? I don't agree with this. Why? Because it's a mitzvah, you know, to go wash your hands. It's a mitzvah to do the Birkat Kohanim. All these things, you know, and the going in front of somebody when he's praying is only the Rabbanan. It's only the rabbinical. So comes the rabbinical mitzvah at aseh of to wash your hands and pushes out the lo ta'aseh of not passing by somebody right when they're praying. So same thing over here as well.
What about somebody that needs to go to the bathroom? He can wait, but he needs to go to the bathroom. Should he wait or should he go?
It's a good question, right? So meaning what? He has to pass by somebody who's praying, right?
People that's praying.
So it's a good question what he's asking. It's a good question. Let me try to explain this right quickly because I don't want to take too long. But the answer to his question is like this, right? That they say the Chazal, if you hold it in, right, and don't go to the bathroom, you're going over Baal Teshaketzu, right? Right. But the truth is, Poskim says Derabanan. You know what I mean? But it's not from the Torah. Yeah, it's a remez in the pasuk. There's an allusion. It's remez, but it's not from the Torah. It's asmachta b'alma. You know what I mean? So it's not from the Torah, but since you're not allowed, if it's already too strong, and you can't hold it, you know what I mean? 72 minutes, right? Then you have to go already, So there you can go. You know what I mean? You can go. You don't have to pass by. But if it's not so strong, I'm sorry.
Go around. You can use another door, go around.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you're right. You can go here, But sometimes, it's not possible, right? You have to know what's going on. You have to have a map, to see what's going on. Who's praying here? Who's praying here? You need a map, right? To make a calculation. And that's the thing, So therefore, right, if it's urgent, you can't wait too long. You can go, But if it's something which is not so urgent, you can wait 72 minutes, then you wait, let them finish. No big deal, right? That's probably the best way to handle it. ברוך ה' לעולם, אמן ואמן. רבי חנין הקדוש אומר, עשה הקדוש ברוך הוא לעשות כל ישראל, לפיכך בא להם תורה ומצוות שנאמר אדוני חפץ, למען סיפור יגדיל תורה בידי.